Okay, newspapers. If people want a handful of newspapers to take with them to give out to folk as well. We've also got these leaflets as well. But if people want more detailed information about Green Party policies and what we're all about, then we have this in here. I'll get it the right way around. Always an important thing, particularly when you're on camera. What the Green Party is proposing is a £2,000 solar programme to give electricity, free electricity from the sun to people's homes. What that's going to mean for most people is somewhere up to about £200 a year off their electricity bills, which is about 2 or 3 weeks' rent for a lot of people. Nothing better.
Thank you very much. And I have to begin with an apology because I've arrived today and it started raining and I'm told it never rains in Yorkshire and I must have bought rain for money. As a species, we've got to look at the big picture now. It's no good just doing things short term. So the Greens, all the policies of the Greens are about dealing with justice, making sure that the people who are supporting the right things, like not having their forests cut down or their seas completely emptied of fish, are protected rather than attacked by their own police forces, their own armies. We're about justice. That's the fundamental thing that the Greens are about.
One of the most fantastic aspects of living in a city like Bradford and being an elected Green councillor on Bradford Council is the fantastic diversity of the people who live in our city and across our district. At a time when some of the other parties are denigrating Britain's multicultural society, we think it's fantastic that so many different people from so many different backgrounds are living in a place like Bradford.
We are opposed to the current structure of the European Union. It's something that was set up to favour business, and as we're seeing with the current trade agreement that's being negotiated, it's something that works in the interest predominantly of big business. And that is why probably quite a lot of Conservatives are in favour of it. And what we want is a European Union that actually works for the interests of the people of Europe, the ordinary people of Europe, rather than multinational companies that just want to exploit Europe, to use its lax tax regulations in various places to locate here, that want to use the wealth of its population as part of their income stream, and not to have to face up to those restrictions that the people would want to place on them.
State that any common sense look at it would say human rights are human rights, and if they're being abused today, then that is something which we should all be addressing. I personally visited Palestine and Israel a few years ago, and I've seen the barriers that have gone up. I've seen the military checkpoints with women and babies and folks going to work, folks with their shops and their livelihood destroyed because it's on the wrong side of a wall, farmers unable to access their land to harvest their crops. It's a real and ongoing festering sore of a situation, and it's something that we should justly and rightly, for peace in the world and for the sake of those people, put some pressure on to solve.
At the moment we're planning to spend £100 billion on replacing the Trident nuclear weapons system. when we don't need it. It can't defend us against anything, it can't defend us against terrorism, and even many military people recognise that it's completely useless. We're spending all that money in the midst of recession when we're damaging our health service. The health service is running out of funding, and we could invest that money in green jobs and renewables, and the Green Party has policies to do that.
Afternoon, everybody. We've come to launch our regional manifesto today in the Create Bar at Yorkshire Wildlife Trust's Sturley Farm, because it represents an example of what we want to achieve for people and homes right the way across the Yorkshire Humber region. It is an old stone building that has been super insulated to a very high specification. The skilled work is being carried out by a local company employing local labour. Imagine if this sort of refurbishment was carried out to the millions of old drafty homes right the way across the UK. Millions of people would save hundreds of pounds in energy costs that would go back into the local economy. Thousands of more people would have worthwhile employment, building a future where we'd have warm homes that are affordable to heat. Young people would have the realistic prospect of a skilled job that they can feel pride about and can build a life upon. You would think that a policy like this was obvious and that all political parties would be behind it. A revolution in reducing the demand for energy in our homes. Yet the coalition government have cut funding, the energy company obligation, so drastically that 264,000 homes that would have been insulated will now not be insulated, directly as a result of government policy. And in this coming year, as a result of these changes, energy companies will have a £245 million windfall. Now that's great, isn't it? We've got energy companies that are going to have more money as a result, a direct result of government policy and helping the profits of energy companies. If elected to the European Parliament, I will use the MEP's office to help draw down funding and resources to improve the energy efficiency of homes in our region and to provide free, clean, renewable energy to hundreds of thousands of homes. Getting Greens elected to the European Parliament can be about much more than simply a protest. We will promote positive, practical projects that improve homes and increase skilled employment. The polls are looking good for us. Several have now put us ahead of the Liberal Democrats, both nationally and particularly in the north of England. Here in Yorkshire and Humber, we have already had councillors elected in Kirklees, York, Leeds, Sheffield, Bradford and Scarborough, and our local parties are fired up and fighting for every vote in this proportional representation election. Let's take the opportunity that this election offers us and have a positive result on May the 22nd that actually makes a difference to people's lives and elect our region's first Green Party MEP. Thank you.